Hey, hope you're doing well. We are having an amazing time here in Crete. It's October 1st and it's so freaking sunny out. There's a hot tub on our terrace, so we'll definitely be making use of that tonight. Coming from Canada, this is like unheard of for us. Anyways, this isn't about Crete, this is about Greece. I quickly do want to just cover the issue that copywriters run into when it comes to actually consistently scaling their client base, getting better clients, retaining better clients, and consistently attracting them, but also building up their income month after month, year after year. Some people, a lot of the mastermind groups that I've been part of, recommend that you grow your income by 20% every single year. For some, you've been doing that. Amazing. Congratulations. You're doing great. For others, you might not be at that point. That's fine. We're going to build up to that. But even then, if you are building your income by 20% every single year, you're probably going to want to grow by more. If you're ambitious like me, if you're ambitious like a lot of people I know, you're probably asking, how do I add 50%, 100%, 200%? So that's one of the things we're going to be covering, because there's a concept that a lot of the copywriters don't fully understand yet. And I just want to make sure I clear the air to make it clear as to, or to make it known as to why copywriters can't create consistency and stability inside of their businesses. A lot of the copywriters that I personally have talked to deal with on and off projects. They work in house, they collect a safe paycheck, they want more, but they can't necessarily get more. They don't know where to find clients, how to get clients. And the problem is a lot of these copywriters are really good, yet they struggle with that consistency, they struggle with the stability. So that's been the number one thing that I've noticed that copywriters sort of miss out on, is that stability. So like I said, one big reason they struggle to hit six figures, let alone multi six figures, they don't get taught the right way to position themselves. So they put themselves out there like a commodity instead of an asset. Now, I will define what positioning means later, but something you have to understand is, like, I'm going to be blunt and I'm going to say certain things, so don't take this the wrong way. But as an agency owner, I've hired multiple copywriters. I've written for multiple eight-figure brands. This isn't to say, like, this isn't to brag or anything. It's just for me to set the context here. We need good copywriters. And by good, I don't mean just like skill-wise good, because a lot of you guys are already probably good enough to land these big clients. You just don't know about it. The reason I discount a lot of the copywriters that apply, at least personally for me, and I know this to be true for a lot of the 7 8 figure business owners that I've talked to, is, again, they can't position themselves properly. They don't stand apart from everyone else. They treat themselves, like I said, like a commodity instead of an asset. So instead of being a skilled person that can actually develop value inside of a business, they're just coming and be like, hey, let me solve this problem for you. Or not even that. It's like, hey, pay me X amount. I'll just give you Y output. And that's it. That's a problem. So before I dive any deeper into this, I just want to tell a quick story, because this is going to solidify the importance of this. When I was an agency copywriter, literally just 2.5 years ago, right before I transitioned from agency copywriter to freelancer, I was running my last 2 weeks with one of the agencies that I was working with, and one of the agency owners, when I submitted my 2 weeks, I think this was around this time, the words that she told me were astounding. She said, "Coppers are a dime and a dozen. I can replace you, no problem." And it's like, it was that kind of backhanded comment that sort of undermined my abilities, undermined my skills, undermined my value. And it kind of lit a fire under my ass to A, just leave faster, because I didn't want to be around that kind of toxic environment. But B, is to actually build something outside of the agency. Because again, I got my start in copywriting just through being inside of agencies. That's how I built up my skill. But then I transitioned out and developed my positioning to scale to the point where I'm now running my own agency. So the way I got here, though, is understanding how to position myself properly and understanding the sort of hierarchy that businesses go through. Because I don't want you to go through a part, move this thing, there we go. I don't want you to go through a season where people are undermining your skills, people are undermining your value, your abilities, and you have agency owners or clients saying the exact same things, where they're just shopping based on price or not shopping based on value or based on the problem that you're able to solve. And again, this is like what I said, this is the reason most copywriters struggle to scale, is because they see themselves as, hey, I'll come in, write some words for you, you'll make money, cool, that's it. They do not see themselves more than that. And to really solidify this point, you're going to need to understand if I can get this triangle to keep, there we go. So there's a hierarchy inside of every single business that you have to understand. And you have to understand where you fall in this hierarchy because this determines how seriously you're going to get taken. So at the top of the pyramid, there's, the C-level staff. Pardon my Picasso drawings, but you're going to have to deal with it. There's a C-level staff, the CEO, CMO, CFO, whatever. If the company is not that big, if they're, running 7 figures, usually 8 figures is where you start to get like that, the C-level staff. But even if it's a multi-6-figure business, you have the founder. So the C-level staff or the founder. Top of the pyramid. Most important person there, typically earning the most amount of money. Then you have the producers. These people are the killers inside the business. So this is, the top closer, maybe the top marketer, the top setter, whatever it is. These people are what generate like 60% of the revenue for the business because they're just that good. Then comes the next tier under, which is just the team. This is everybody else. Even the top producers could be operations people, but for the sake of like argument, I'm just going to keep this simple. The team, this is like their internal team. So let's say, again, you're working with a 7-figure business. This is their entire sales department. This is their entire marketing department. This is their entire operations department. It's everybody. Lastly, at the bottom is everyone else. And most times, this is most agencies. This is most times freelancers or people trying to find a job. So agencies, freelancers, and people trying to get a client. That's the problem. You're at the bottom of the pyramid. And like I said, the revenue or the amount that you can charge goes up. So, there we go. So the higher you are on this pyramid, the more you're able to charge. Like I said, the C-level suite or staff or the founder, they're typically the ones that make the most. Then the producers make, the second most. The team makes whatever they make, and then everybody else just typically gets paid whatever's left over. Now, what you want to understand though is you want to climb this hierarchy. Obviously, you're not going to get to the point of C-level staff or founder. I mean, you might get to the point of C-level staff. Who knows if that's something you want to do, but you want to climb this hierarchy. And ideally, let me bring out my marker again. You go from everyone else and you jump the step of being part of their team or their in-house team, whatever, and you jump to producer. A lot of the clients are going to come to you and be like, oh, we're looking for an in-house position. You do not have to be an in-house copywriter. Like, again, one of the top clients that I worked with, so Bastian Slot, when he came to me, he needed help with emails and his copy and his social media content, etc. So he came to me, he's like, hey, we need help, but I'm looking for an in-house copywriter. And at the time I was like, I'm past that stage of my life. I'm past that stage of my career. I don't do in-house work, but we can chat about solving your problem. Long story short, we ended up working for like over a year and a half, and we've made cumulatively like over $1 million. Like I've made our agency, my copywriting alone has made well over $1 million just over that time frame. I'm not saying that I jumped to the producer level because I know that there's so many other things that I could have done to jump there. But again, positioning. This is what I mean is you have to get away from the bottom of the hierarchy where you're just reaching out. You're like, hey, I'll write all your emails for you. I'll write all your copy for you. Like at the end of the day, nobody cares. Like what you're doing is you're reaching for the lowest sort of leveraged outcomes that these people want. When I say copywriters struggle with positioning, and when I say that, they position themselves like a commodity instead of an asset, again, for me, I don't care about copywriters coming and be like, I want you to, I'll write your emails for you, or I'll write your content for you. Like, okay, cool, thanks. Like that's convenient. I want you to do something bigger inside of my business. This is what all business owners look for. You want to position yourself in a way where you're a consultant, you're an expert, you're a proper business owner. Now, don't let the word business owner overwhelm you or scare you. I'm not saying that you have to have this massive team. you as an individual can be a business owner. You want to be treated as a business owner. Otherwise, like I said, you're going to fall into the, oh my God, these drawings are terrible, but you're going to fall into this category of everyone where you're just an employee, you're just a service provider. So once you switch that mindset around and you go from service provider, which honestly, frankly, is what most copywriters are nowadays, and you take yourself to that expert consultant business owner realm, now you're able to charge significantly more. That's the difference. That is how you change your positioning. This is how you position yourself properly in the market, because there's so many closers, there's so many setters, there's so many copywriters in the industry now. And yes, we're inside of our own bubble, and outside the bubble, there's not that many. But depending on the niche you're working with, it is getting so competitive that it's just like, this is why the agency owner told me copywriters are a dime a dozen. I'll replace you at without any issues. That's the problem. Like, this is what most copywriters are dealing with, is you're just dealing with people that like I said, are shopping by price. So anyways, how do you actually jump step? How do you become that consultant, that expert, that business owner that's able to solve 6, 7, 8-figure problems for these business owners, instead of just write their emails for them or write their copy for them and free up some time? There's a lot of different things that you can do here to position yourself in that way. And I'm not going to get into this video because that's going to be a long ass video. And this is also just something I cover inside of 6-figure leverage copywriter for my clients. So I'm going to keep that away. But the one thing you need to understand is, really, it just starts as a mindset shift. You transition yourself from service provider. You're no longer just writing copy for them. You're solving problems for them. You're solving 6, 7, 8-figure problems. Like I said, me and Bass worked for over a year and a half. I think I've made them anywhere between $1 million to $1.4 million across that time frame. That's a big problem to solve. I've solved problems worth $1 million. And that was an extra $1 million into his business. That wasn't anything like, crazy, anything unique. It's just extra cash for that business owner. That's how you become a consultant. At the end of the day, you get paid based on your value. So that's how you're able to charge high price points, is through solving bigger problems instead of just getting tasks done for these business owners. So that's what you got to pay attention to. I was going to start, actually, I'll jump into this. So that's the mindset shift that you want to understand. Now, the benefit of nailing down position, my God. So let's say you nail down positioning. What benefits come from it? So, naturally, skill development, because you start to work on bigger projects for bigger names, get bigger results. And if you follow my brand, you'll know that I preach a lot about skill is just part of the equation of landing bigger clients, more consistent clients. That's part of the reason. Positioning is what gets you ahead. Skill is what gets your foot in the door and allows you to actually create results, but positioning is actually what lands you the higher level clients and gets you ahead in your career. So you get skill development as well as referrals, because when you position yourself and actually solve these problems for business owners, they're going to start referring business owners that they know to you. This is what happened again when I started working with Bass, because I solved a problem for him that brought him a lot of money, and he started referring me people from his mastermind, his communities, to me. And that's how my business started to explode over just the course of like a month. As well as opportunities. What kind of opportunities do you get? This depends. So for me, this resulted in things like getting invited on podcasts, being able to run presentations inside of communities like Genesis or TNC. Also, this has gotten me inside of rooms that I didn't think I'd be able to get into. So 2 quick examples. One, Justin Goff, I think it was last year, was looking for someone to help out with his mastermind. I wasn't going to initially go, but then he just reached out. I was like, hey, I'm just looking for someone to fly in, help out. And I just shot a quick video DM. And because I had the proper positioning, because I was known inside the industry, he was like, okay, cool. Yeah, come. So I got to fly out for free, attend a free mastermind, and I helped him out. Met a ton of cool people, built some really solid relationships. And then 6 months later, him and Dan Ferrari started running, they had a invite-only mastermind inside of Mexico. So what did I do? I applied. And again, because I had the proper positioning, I had these opportunities open up to me, I actually got a seat inside the mastermind out of 6, 7 people. So these are like the 3 big things. And I mean, of course, naturally, more income, more stability, more predictability. Like, these are the obvious ones that you get because, again, you're able to land bigger clients, they stay on longer, and you're able to attract more clients into your brand. So this is what I mean when I say copywriters need to position themselves properly. Skill on its own is not enough. You need to be able to position yourself. You need to be able to get yourself out of the bottom rung of the hierarchy inside of any business. In fact, like people trying to get a client, like the reality situation is they're down here. They're not even in the hierarchy because they haven't even cracked into it yet. So this is unfortunately where most agency and freelancers live because they do the bare minimum and they just see themselves as someone that complete tasks for these business owners rather than solving real problems. And that's why they stay down here and are one of the lowest paid people, yet highest overworked people as well. So there's no leverage. There's no growth opportunities for people like that. You have to jump up, and it all starts from the mindset shift that you're no longer a service provider. You're not just completing tasks. You're not just writing copy. You're actually solving problems for these people. So like I said, hopefully this makes sense. If it doesn't, just reach out to me, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, at Dan Bagnia. Like I mentioned earlier, spots are closing for six-figure leverage copywriter October 8th. It's October 1st right now. So at the moment of me shooting this, there's about 7 spots left. So if you're interested in actually learning how to position yourself properly, developing your copy skills, getting clients, retaining clients for the long term, actually creating a predictable system to grow and creating predictable income as well from your copywriting business. And then if you're super ambitious, scaling that to like agency or creating your own offer, just reach out to me. Like I said, I'll send you a quick Google Doc that lays out all the details for it. But other than that, watch this twice, sink this into your brain, start implementing this because this is the one thing that allowed me to blow up, and it's going to be the one thing that's going to allow you to consistently grow over time. So I'll chat to you guys later. Let me know if you have any questions.